Hello everyone, today we have the newly released Nico into Marvel Snap, and I know that this isn't right when the card came out, but what I want to do with these videos, I think, is give it some time, brew as much as I possibly can, test a lot of different builds, and find the one that I think is truly the strongest. That way, whether you watch it on day 1 or day 5, it's going to be a good representation of the card's strengths, rather than just kind of rushing to get it out onto the platform. And so today we have Nico, who is a 1-cost 2-power card. She has the ability, on reveal after you play your next card, cast a spell. The spell changes each turn. So I tested this in several different builds. It does decently in a Phoenix Force deck, decently in Thanos, but the one that I felt like it had the most benefit to was a Deadpool X-23 Destroy deck. Not something that's looking to go incredibly high roll with like Nimrod, but something that is wanting to consistently destroy your lower cost cards, snowball a decent death, a decent null, a decent taskmaster, and Nico adds so much value to that style of deck. There are 3 spells in particular that Nico has that just add so much flavor to this deck that it, I think, takes it to the next level. The first one being the next card you play, destroy it and draw 2 cards. This not only plays into our game plan of destroying cards, but it also helps us get additional resources. So fantastic value from that spell. We also have the next card you play, give it +2 power. Fantastic on like a Deadpool, an X-23, or a Wolverine. Cards that are going to stay on the board even after we destroy them can really start snowballing both Venom and Null and getting a cheaper discount on your death as well. And then the last one that I think is a really big benefit to this style of deck is the next card you play, add a copy of it to your hand. So if you already have a Deadpool that started snowballing, you have it at 12 power, you can add a second 12 power Deadpool. You can use this on a death if you play the death early. Maybe you'd play death and then destroy it so that you can buff up your null, then you have another free death, plus a null on the last turn, and you can just get so much value and extra flexibility through these different spells. And with the extra energy from X-23, a lot of times you can afford to not play all of your energy every turn to make sure that you get the spell that you actually need from Nico, rather than playing a subpar one. And so I have been having an absolute blast with this. I actually recorded this twice. The first time my mic defaulted to my camera and you could hear it, but it wasn't as pristine. So this is take number 2. I'm glad that I really enjoyed this card because it makes it a lot less painful to lose that content, but we're going to be jumping over into a couple games. Thank you guys as always for being here. I hope you guys enjoy. Ends up pulling the Nebula, which is going to, they lose this lane, we win this left lane. Oh my god. All right, first up we have Attaboy. And the first location is Wakanda, which is not great, of course, for a destroy deck, but it's okay because we know it's coming. So after you play your next card, add a copy of it to your hand. So we could use this with Forge, potentially, but I do want to wait a moment. Like that one's not bad, but without a Deadpool, without an X-23, I don't know that it's worth jumping into. We have better options out there. And so Sokovia discards our Deathlock. Okay. They lose their Jeff, we lose our Deathlock, so it's okay. And then Nico is now going to move a card to the right, so I'm actually just going to skip this turn. Not ideal, not the best starting representation, but it could be that we could recover. So their Angela starts out at +2, and then it's going to get changed into a Hulk, so unfortunate. We could do the give it +2 power. We don't have anything great yet. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the Nico over here, I guess. We lose our Forge bonus. It's fine, I guess. It's not huge. Definitely not what we wanted to see. Definitely not what we wanted to see coming down. Now, they do have 2 Hulks to our 2 Hulks. So we're evened out in this lane. They have a little bit of extra value in over here. Actually, I think I'm just going to... I just want to retreat. I don't even want to be here right now. What is going on? We have death. We could use death, or we have null. We could use null in the left lane, and then it's not going to be able to be touched. If they have a Shang-Chi, then we're very susceptible here. But the reason I destroyed with Venom is so that we could get a buffed up null in the left lane. That's the only reason we did it. Oh, this Taskmaster is huge. Oh my god. Definitely not our ideal line. This is just a wacky roundabout play. We might mess around and win this one without any of our lower cost cards. Taskmaster is going to be 29 power. We then have a null, which is going to be either 24 or a lot higher power, depending. They have Super Scroll. which does throw a little bit of a hiccup in our game plan. We have death, but they do end up retreating. They give us the good old fist bump. We, what an ugly game. We will take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, I am what I am, and that's all that I am. Next up, we have Yam. The first location is the Avengers compound. We have X-23. If we can get some destroy triggers, great. Nico, also great in unison with the X-23, being able to either destroy one of our next cards or draw additional cards or buff or copy a card. Great card to have early. If we don't get it, it's probably okay. So they have Iceman. They are running, we faced them before. They're running a Cerebro 3 deck, or a Cerebro 2 deck, along with Nico to be able to destroy either a Mr. Sinister or a Brood, to be able to draw additional cards and still get the benefit. It's a decent deck. It did really decently. This is actually really cool. We're going to actually do an Uno reverse on them. This is what they did to us last turn. Or last game was the Nico into the Brood. It generates the 2 Broods and then it gets destroyed. So we're going to get a lot of Hulks. We're going to get the extra cards from Nico. I want to snap on them, but I also want to just see this one play out. And so I'm assuming they have the Brood. I'm assuming they abandon the Cerebro 2 strategy and they just end up going with as much stuff on the board. Ooh, Storm is not one that I was anticipating though. And so we now have a pretty full right lane. Yeah, it's okay. Is it? I don't know. So Deadpool into Venom. We get extra energy. There's a chance that this caps out, but that's fine if it does. We can't really do anything with it anyways. Next turn, we do have the ability to do a Null, or lean back into the Deadpool and destroy to do Deadpool plus Null on the last turn. Because we have Killmonger, we can move the X-23 out of the right lane. And so all in all, I think we're in an okay spot. Next turn, we are going to have to play all of our cards in the left lane. So actually, no, we can't do Null. That was never mind. I was just kidding. That was a JK. They do cap out the right lane with their Brood. I think we have a decent shot at competing with them. Ooh, Death is nice. So we now have a lot of extra energy, but we have Death. We have Deadpool plus Killmonger. Death is going to be free next turn. We have potentially a Null. We can reinforce this location. I don't know that there is a way for them to overcome this at this point. Knowing the resources that they have, maybe an Echo, but not very many people run the Cerebro 2 using an Echo. It's just I like the tech, but if I didn't already have Echo, I definitely wouldn't buy it just for that case. So they have magic. Do they have another way to rip away a location? They could have Nico. Nico comes to mind and is actually pretty scary. But if they do Nico to rip this one away, I guess Nico plus Cerebro would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it could end up being kind of scary. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and play the cards out just in case they limbo rip that away with Nico and they have the Cerebro. I don't want to risk it at this point. And so the Forge is going to come down. It's going to give us death. They're not going to have a Shang-Chi because they're running Cerebro 2, and there's no reason to tech that in. And so I think we have it. I don't think they can win. I don't think. And that's what gets me in trouble sometimes, is not thinking. Let's go ahead and do the Taskmaster into Deadpool. They should retreat here. Now, if you're running Cerebro 2, there are a lot of maths that you have to do. And so I think they're trying to calculate their maths. Yeah. All right. Next up, we have The first location is the Raft. We do get the ability to add a copy of whatever card we play next to our hand, which could be a Carnage, could be a Venom. But I would rather get an extra card draw. I would rather get something a little bit different without having something like Deadpool or X-23 in our hand. Oh, and then Cloning Vats comes in big. Now, Nico comes in pushing all the cards to the right, which is just not great. Not a good fit. So, I'm going to go ahead and play Deadpool, and only Deadpool, I think, into next turn doing in Deadpool and a Carnage, or Deadpool Nico, or Nico and Carnage. It just really depends. I don't care to have the cards push to the right. They do have, oh wow, they have Black Widow, which is unfortunate. But they have Black Widow. We do have means to destroy some of those cards, so it's okay. They actually gave us an almost avenue to completely cap out the raft. So we can give the next card we play +2 power, which is nice. We can do something like this. Go ahead and play Deadpool here. And then Widow's Bite. That's going to start Deadpool at a little bit higher. And then if they want to do Black Widow again, fine. Next turn, we'll be able to get a free resource from the raft. We'll be able to play it a couple of times. So we're going to be able to do Black Widow into Carnage in the left lane. We won't be able to duplicate the Carnage, but I think that's okay. I don't think we necessarily need to be able to duplicate it. We could do Widow's Bite and then just do this number. That way we start our Deadpool Snowball. And I kind of like that idea. That allows us to next turn get the free resource. We can do something like Deadpool plus Venom, the free resource plus Venom to get a really big Venom, depending on what resource we get from the raft location. I think them playing Black Widow a couple times was probably not the best idea, especially with raft being on the board, giving us the reach to be able to actually play into it. Now, they could have maybe a Killmonger that could be pretty detrimental on the last turn, maybe. Extra Elsa Bloodstones are also kind of scary, too. So we can do Thanos into Venom, into Deadpool. I think we just hold our Widow's Bite. Like, I don't think they're going to ever give us an opportunity to draw another one. And so this would give us another Thanos. This would give us another Venom. We can get another Widow's Bite if we want. That's fine. And so depending on what they play, like we're already going to have a lot of resources in our hand. We have the free Thanos. We have the big Venom. That's going to be big from destroying all of these cards. And if we have 2 Widow's Bites in hand, that's fine. Like we don't, it's okay. The second Elsa Bloodstone is very, very scary because every single time they cap at a location, it's going to get +4. Mobius does come down, so our death is more expensive. Is that fine? I think so. So their Kitty Pryde comes back up. Deadpool Venom. So it's 8. It'll go up to 12. So 12 in this left lane would end up being their Kitty Pryde. Is 8, 9 right now. It'll end up going up to 13. So it brings it up to 19. This will beat the 19. 17. So this will allow us to go up to 18, so the Kitty Pryde won't win here. It won't win here right now. It'd be 19, and then we have the Venom in the right lane. I think that gives us a good enough spread. We do force the retreat, thankfully. Even though we couldn't draw, we had enough valuable resources that the duplication, the one free turn of Thanos, gave us that edge that we needed to get a really big Venom, and we end up getting 2 cubes out of the bargain. We do have Nico in our opening hand. Right now, it's that it adds a duplicate card. I don't know that we need to. Like, we could do an extra Carnage, that'd be fine. But I think I'm just going to wait. I think we're going to do Forge first. I'm going to hope for an X-23, a Deadpool, maybe a Wolverine, something a little bit more beneficial, or a better spell, from Nico. And so they have Squirrel Girl, which is great for us using a Killmonger if we end up drawing a Killmonger. And then after you play your next card, give it +2 power. So X-23 is going to be stacked. Actually, we're going to do X-23 first, and then do we even play Nico now? I don't think we need to. I'm going to hold Nico for a better spell. And because of that, I'm going to play X-23 in the left lane, and then we're going to play it kind of passively. X-23 is going to give us extra energy over the course of the games, which will make up for not using all of our energy early. It's fine. Nexus. So the Mirror Dimension could copy Nexus, which would be kind of interesting. And then now we're going to be able to destroy our card and draw 2 additional cards. So it does kind of stink that this one is going to get destroyed, our Carnage. But we're going to keep X-23 on the board. We're going to buff up a Null quite a bit. We're going to draw through most of the cards in our deck. And so then we'll be able to really jump into these last couple of turns very, very efficiently. And so they have a Flood style deck. So being able to destroy the squirrels, I think will throw off pretty much their entire game plan. And so Carnage does get destroyed. We draw Taskmaster and Wolverine, and then as a result, we are able to get Death. And interesting. Let's go ahead and do Wolverine and Deathlock. We do have a couple of extra turns. These aren't going to destroy this turn. These aren't going to be destroyed this round, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's okay. Next turn, we'll be able to kind of gauge what it looks like. We do get Deadpool. We don't have a really great means to play him over into the Nexus. So, Deadpool and then Death. Death is going to end up being 1, 2 less, so it's going to be 2. It's 2. We have, if we had 1 extra destroy here, I would say absolutely we go for the Death plus Taskmaster on the last turn. But since we don't, I'm gonna do Death. We're gonna do Deadpool in just in the middle location. I don't think it matters where we do Deadpool. The extra value over here is probably beneficial, but I don't think it's gonna be an end-all type of thing. And actually, I'm gonna play Deadpool into mid just in case both of these move over to the right lane. I kind of hope we're not winning going into this last turn. Hope we draw like our Killmonger. We have a 50-50 to draw Killmonger, which would end up being big. The Cosmo comes down, which I guess they thought we were going to throw some destruction into the Nexus, which is actually beneficial. They can't move anything out of this lane, but we can clear out 15 of their power if we draw Killmonger. If not, then maybe the Null is enough. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. But the Kaz are here. Blue Marvel probably also going to come down here, so we have to look out for that extra ramp. Killmonger would be one of the most beautiful things I could hope for here. Let's do Killmonger in the left lane, and then I think we're good. I think we could honestly probably steal 8 cubes, but drawing the Killmonger on the last turn, we're not going to do that to him. The Blue Marvel is what I would assume. Spectrum was not what I was expecting, so their right lane is actually bigger than what I anticipated. Not big enough, thankfully. We win that one by 1. I was not expecting. I forgot about the Spectrum play from a Spectrum ongoing. Like, Spectrum ongoing is so underplayed, but we are able to win the right lane by 1. We win the left lane by quite a bit. Thank you, Nico, for the extra card draw.